Hello friends, I'm so happy to be back with you, and today we're going to talk about three main things. The first is muscle type, muscle action, and muscle type of contraction. Remember that video that I talked about agonist, antagonist, and all of that? Well, today we're going to explain more, and stay until the end because I will be sharing some tip on how you can train one muscle two ways. My name is Weber-Salas, and let's start. First, we're going to talk about muscle type. And depending on your working area, you have never seen or imagined a human body without skin. And it will look something like a chicken breast, uncooked. I'm sorry for those who got hungry. That type of muscle, it's called voluntary muscles because it allows the movement in between two bones or more, and it helps maintain posture. So if we have voluntary muscle, we have involuntary muscle. And where in your body you think have involuntary movements all the time, all day, all night, every single day? That's right, in your organs. So maybe some of them you can do some voluntary actions, but it's probably going to work either you like it or not. And most of the organs are made of involuntary muscle. And the third type of muscle is your cardiac muscle. That's right, only your heart has this type of muscle, and it's part of involuntary, but it's a different structure. So those three, voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac muscle, are the three types of muscle. So now let's talk about muscle action. To move something or some part of your body, or to walk or to stand or whatever, how many muscles would you say you need to make that action? You say 1, 2, 5, 11. What would you say? Well, that depends on multiple factors, but of course, you're going to move more than one. So let's start talking about agonist, antagonist, synergist, and stabilizers type of actions that a muscle can do. We have agonist, that is the prime mover that gives most of the force and control for a specific action. Then you have antagonist, which does the opposite to the agonist. You have synergist that helps out the agonist, and stabilizers that are going to help control the rest of the body while one part is doing that specific movement that you want it to do. And neutralizers that keep the rest of the body still, so one specific action can happen in that area of your body that you want it to. So for example, you want to throw a dart. The agonist muscle will be the triceps, which is going to extend your elbow. Then you have, on the contrary, the biceps, that is going to be the antagonist muscle. It will relax and control the movement of the triceps. Then you have one little muscle here that is the anconeus, and in this case we're going to name it as a synergist, that it will help in the extension of your elbow. And finally, we will name the pronator quadratus, that it's on your forearm, and it will help your forearm so your arm doesn't move as a crazy part of your body, and you can throw the dart correctly with the amount of force that you want it to. Finally, we're going to talk about muscle type of contraction, and contraction can be described based on two variables. The first is force, and the second is length. So when the force changes and the length remains, it will be a isometric contraction. And when the contrary happens, that it will be the force remains and the length changes, then it will be a isotonic contraction. But inside this isotonic contraction, you will have concentric and eccentric. One, or concentric, will be when the length is shortened, and when it lengthens, then it will be eccentric contraction. So let me give you an example. Let's take my biceps here. Keeping the same position, I can start making force, and this will be a isometric contraction. Now, if I extend my elbow or flex my elbow while doing the same amount of force, the length changes, it will be a isotonic contraction. And inside of that, you have concentric, that your muscle fibers shorten, and when you make force but your muscle is lengthening, making a eccentric force. So you can train the same muscle, but you can do it in a concentric or eccentric contraction. So in resume, now you know 3 different things about muscles inside your body. First, you know the types of muscle. You have voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac muscle. You have the type of action that your muscles can do. You have agonists, antagonists, synergists, and neutralizers. And finally, you now know how your muscles can contract. So you can train in a isometric, in a concentric or eccentric way. And it's very interesting when you train and try to do these different movements involving all this knowledge that you just got today. I hope this video was useful. If there's any doubt that stayed and you cannot solve it by rewatching this video, you can always contact me. And don't forget to share this video so other people can benefit from it. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.